Ooh, ooh. You can play a tune on the disc wheel. Hugely privileged today to be given the opportunity by Lotto Soudal to take a closer look at the time trial bike of Victor Campenaerts, the Flying Moustache. This is the Ridley Dean first. Now, I'm sure all of you will know by now, but Victor Campenaerts a few weeks ago became the new world hour record holder. And if you didn't know that, there is a subtle reminder for you right here. A very discreet sticker here on the top tube. Victor Campenaerts, 55.089 kilometers per hour, which is ridiculous when you really think about it. Despite all the aero gains, despite going up to altitude, to be able to maintain 55 k's per hour for 10 seconds is remarkable in my book, let alone for 3,600. Now, the geometry and therefore position that Campanaerts adopts on this time trial bike is almost exactly the same as the one that he used on his track bike to break that world hour record. As mentioned, this is the latest version of Ridley's Dean Fast, and as with all top-end time trial bikes, every effort in the world has been made to make it as fast as possible through the air. Reasonably unique to Ridley are these split grooves here at the fork, which have been around for quite some time. They've also now got these grooves, very subtle actually, on the down tube here, which they found in wind tunnel testing to make the bike go through the air that little bit quicker. We're fairly used to seeing Team Sky, now Team Ineos, with custom 3D printed aero bars. Slightly rarer in other teams, but this bike of Victor Campenaerts has some on called Speedbars. They are prohibitively expensive even for pro teams. Apparently 3,000 euros is the retail value if you at home want to get yourself some. Custom moulded to your hand and forearm, so you have complete support all the way down here, making it more comfortable, but also more aero. The claims are that these will save you 10 watts at 50 k's per hour when there's no wind, and they'll save you 23 watts at a 10-degree yaw angle, which is a lot. On the inside of the bar extensions here, there are a couple of fairly large indentations, which I'm not entirely sure what they're for. I can only speculate that that is perhaps where he manages to wedge his head unit, but I haven't yet confirmed that with the mechanics. What I do know, because I've read up on it, is that inside the bar extensions is a small carbon tube, which is where the cables go from the shifters here at the end in towards the base bar and then the bike. It's been quite interesting actually here at the Giro d'Italia to take a look at a few of the time trial bikes and see what they're using as gripper. We have actually seen some latex inner tubes earlier on today used by Jos van Emden here at the ends. Campenaerts has gone through a reasonably small amount, in fact, of sort of skateboard gripper tape or sandpaper here at the end, only a couple of centimetres, and then just some on the top of the base bar here. As will be obvious to all of you out there, Lotto Soudal are sponsored by Campagnolo, the Italian Groupset manufacturer, and that extends beyond the Groupset and actually to the wheels themselves too. Starting with the Groupset though, we've got the EPS shifters up there at the end of the base bars and at the end of the bar extensions. Down here, he's running at the moment an 11 up through to 29 tooth cassette. We are just before the start of the Giro, which has a very big hill towards the end of it, so you might opt for a different one in a flatter time trial. The Groupset itself is of course their top-of-the-range Super Record EPS electronic Groupset. That includes the rear derailleur, the front derailleur, the crankset there. He's running 170mm carbon fibre cranks, and the chain rings currently are 58 by 44. Now you might start to get bored of me talking about this, but part of the reason they're using such humongous chain rings these days is to try and keep the chain line straight for the most part to reduce drivetrain friction. Onto the disc wheel, which is shimmering in the sunlight rather nicely at the moment and also echoing my voice. I've in fact just found out it doubles up as a drum. Anyway, it's the Bora Ultra TT here at the rear, and on the front we have the Bora WTO 77, wind tunnel optimised. On those wheels, interestingly, we've got a tubular rear tyre, which is the Corsa from Vittoria with the gun walls. That's measuring at 25mm in width with the calipers. Incredibly high, just been out training on it. Reckon that's at least 140 psi in there. Whilst at the front, he's actually using a clincher with a standard inner tube at the moment, despite the fact that that wheel and tyre is tubeless ready. That is marked as 25C, but actually measuring it, it's coming in at about 27.5. Beyond that, here at the pedals, he's got Look Keo blade carbons, and he's also got the K-edge mount just here to prevent the chain from shipping off accidentally, which is also in combination with SRM, so the magnet for the power meter that he's using is there too. And then the last thing is the fact that he's got Seabear ceramic bearings. This is a Belgian company. They're supplying the jockey wheels here as well as the bearings inside the bottom bracket. Now, one of the interesting things I just found out from the mechanic was that he didn't want it washed. I was just checking with them to make sure it was ready and if they wanted to clean it. And they said Victor doesn't want his bike cleaned at the moment. I'm not entirely sure why that is, whether he's worried about a jet spray into those bearings or if it's something else. But I do like a man who's very finicky about his bike. And of course, Campanaerts is. He's just spent the last 6 months or so preparing for that world hour record, trying to get every single advantage possible in rolling resistance to the tyres and aerodynamics and his position and in drivetrain friction, etc. He's a man that knows what he wants, and it seems to pay off for him because he's of course also the current European time trial champion. So before we weigh this thing, I'm just going to go through a few of the measurements that I've just taken. He's reasonably short in stature, Victor Campanaerts, so his saddle height from the centre of the cranks here to about here, it was where I expect him to sit on his saddle during a time trial, is just over 71 centimetres. From the tip of the saddle to the tip of the bar extensions is 82.5 centimetres. From the centre here of the axle at the front to roughly where his elbow sits is about 53, and then the base bar measures 40 from centre to centre and 42 centimetres from edge to edge, and that is significantly wider than his track bike, where he only needs to use that base bar for the first 20 seconds or so. Right, moment of truth. 8.92 kilograms, just under 9, which seems fairly par for the course for time trial bikes these days. I will get myself out of trouble in the comment section, just do a quick freewheel sound test for you. I'll let you tell me whether that's hot or not. Reasonably quiet, despite the drum disc wheel. Okay, let us know what you think about Campanaerts' bike in the comment section just down below. If you've enjoyed this video on his pro bike, then give us a thumbs up. And if you would like more time trial tech from a Grand Tour, you can find a video for that just over there.